So 18.1 already happened. We're getting geared up for 18.2. Ring muscle ups didn't pop up, but there's a lot of talk about how they are gonna pop up. So today we're gonna talk about some tips. We see a lot of people practicing them, and we see people practice really one specific area, and that's the transition. The funny part is that's usually not the part that falls apart, it's the step before that, and we'll get that into a second. If you know who I am, my name is Dave Whitson. I'm the owner of CrossFit Soar in Hawthorne, New Jersey, as well as StructureYourStrength.com. You can check that out. That is a balanced strength program. The goal is to help eliminate pain and build structural balances so you can get better Olympic lifting in some of those slow lifts. You can check it out in the comments and everything below. So these ring muscle ups, we always see people with the bands practicing transition, kind of muscling through them a little bit because all they think about is what happens from here over. Now the problem with that is almost like if I'm working on my squat, the only part of the squat I work on is from halfway down to halfway up. I'm missing what is probably the setup part of it. Or maybe I'm looking at someone doing Olympic weightlifting and I'm not paying attention to what their feet are doing, where their weight are in their feet, because that's gonna set up everything else. Now for the kipping ring muscle up, that is the ring swing, okay? There was a video a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where Brooke Entz, I believe, was doing 100 ring swings multiple times a week, and every rep had to be perfect. Because as soon as we learn a muscle up, we have a tendency to forget about the basics of the ring swing, because that's gonna help us produce power, save energy, and kind of spread the strength throughout our whole body to do a muscle up. And if we're doing these muscle ups in a CrossFit open workout, you know you're gonna be fatigued going to it. So as much as I love seeing people practice those transitions, I want to see people nail this down. So usually you see kind of like a short kip or short ring swing, and we're not putting pressure on the rings, and that's where we get that half kip, and we kind of muscle and throw our legs up and rotate over. The ring swing is different than a kip on a bar or a bar tap. It is slightly different. So here we have the back end of the swing, and what we want to see is people reaching for the ground. They should be squeezing their butt. And we want to put downward pressure on the rings. We want to think about pushing down on the rings. We keep tension through our whole body. We shouldn't be relaxed and just slinging around. We want to have tension. Reach, press on those rings, create tension. What you're going to notice is that tension builds, and now we have the ability to contract and come back forward. Now when we hit that arch, or excuse me, the hollow position, we usually see people kind of slacken the rings, and the rings will bounce up and down if they're not used to it. We are going to kind of reach our toes forward, but what we want to do with the rings now is pull back and down on them, and that creates tension as well. You're going to realize that if you do this right, you'll start going up naturally. So push down and reach, come back, pull as you hit that hollow position, you're going to start naturally going up. And that's where you see people like Samantha Briggs, they're able to almost go straight up instead of up and over. They're able to pull, and they end up high up in on that muscle up. That allows them to kind of get away with that motion. Now, if you're brand new, don't expect to catch a muscle up in that position. It is going to be the deepest dip you've ever done in your life. So now, if you're really trying to work on these muscle ups, I appreciate the fact that you're working on those transitions because you just want to get one. But if you don't have a solid ring swing, and you don't have a solid ring swing when you're fatigued, once you get into the open, you don't go to some weird type of movement for that ring swing. We want you to practice this and learn how to build capacity when you're fatigued. So the base, the first part of that muscle up is solid. You don't have to worry about it. You don't feel awkward. You're still able to produce power. That's like not working on your footwork in a split jerk and then magically expecting that because you did front rack mobility and you did strict press that your footwork is going to be dialed in for it when you get heavy. Practice the beginning of the movement, not just the middle part that makes you look good once you finish it. Hope that helps you out. Start playing around with it, adding in before your workout once it gets better there. Add it in afterwards to see how you do once you're fatigued. And what I mean by that is, hey, I just did a workout. I'm gonna rest about 2 minutes. I'm gonna hop up, do a set of 10 ring swings and video yourself. Does it look perfect or am I all over the place? All right, you're gonna find a rhythm, you're gonna figure out how to breathe. Practice the beginning of the movement so the rest of it's solid. Hope that helps, guys. Talk to you guys soon.